Okay, folks, we have returned, and we're now going to start. We're now going to start the next case. This is case number 50. The Swan song. Matthew, I can't believe the Rochesters are working on a bill to abolish freedom of the press. Freedom of the press guarantees that all newspapers, magazines, and other information-based publications have the right to report the news without being controlled by the government. If this bill were to pass, all reliable news sources would be shut down. The Rochesters would control exactly which articles get printed and what the people are told. Fortunately, we have the bill safe and sound with us for the moment. However, this won't stall the Rochesters for long. Senior Trooper Matthew, I'm terribly sorry to interrupt, but we just received an urgent phone call from the Opera House. Miss Ulanova, the ballet choreographer, has been found dead in her opera box. Thunderation! The legendary Marta Ulanova is dead? Matthew, I've been an admirer of her work for years. I've been hoping to take my dear Marla to see Miss Ulanova's Swan Lake Ballet. Tonight was the premiere. The Rochesters will have to wait, Matthew. We need to go to the Opera House immediately.
The victim was a freelance designer. She worked from home. Witnesses put her at the Union Square Farmers Market around 2.
Of course, my voice sounds a little hoarse. That's because I was at UH basketball, a local college basketball game. It's an exhibition matchup.
From 2 different sets of prints on the handle.
Did you guys see the husband's blog? ZeroEnergyFootprint.com. They don't eat anything that wasn't raised within 100 miles of their building. They took the cell phones, put them in a drawer, their car, and a long-term line. Stop using the elevator. No paper, no plastic, which means no takeout, no magazines, no paper towels. No toilet paper. Half the world still does it that way.
Of course, it's already 11:09 where I live in Hawaii, so it doesn't really matter.
Her blood alcohol was .4.
Lady stopped for contact.
Martinis, apparently. Her stomach contents included green olives.
Why would you broke one of the rules not to make olive trees within 100 miles of the home?
Check
There we
out
go.
the Union Square. See if she was breaking any other rules.
Doing intel in the bones. Left hand with the water.
Body.
That's nasty.
There's the violin.
Yeah. Susan comes in quite often.
There's binocular. Opera glasses.
You ever use the bathroom? Yeah. Leo, you'd be surprised. Yeah, was she always alone? Usually. A couple times she had to look up. She did. What was that time? Last week, we're pretty busy. Do you know his name? No. You remember if you used a credit card? Maybe. Yeah, I can get you a printout with a couple hundred names on it if you want. What do you want?
Matthew, how fiendish. Marta Ulanova was murdered while she was surveying the production. It's truly a sad day when a star like Miss Ulanova is extinguished. Keen eye, Matthew. Those viewing glasses might have belonged to another spectator. There appears to be a name on the handle, but I can't decipher it. Hopefully you will. And I agree. A search of this pile of cushions is a wise course of action. I, for one, am frequently losing things between the cushions of my Chesterfield couch. Matthew, the stage is set. On we go, for we have a murder to solve.
The stairs was going to stop, poor woman.
When was the last time you saw your sister?
A couple of weeks ago. I had a...
And I need to get some stars, so sit tight, folks.
Kids. Uncle Nancy.
Alright, I got 7 stars. Examine the opera glasses now. Hopefully this will be enough. Mulroney. Matthew, isn't the name on those opera glasses that of the new police commissioner, Thaddeus Mulroney? If his opera glasses are on the crime scene, that means Commissioner Mulroney was here. Perhaps he's acquainted with the victim. Let's go talk to him. So we gotta interview the chief. Well, let's see what he has to say. Commissioner Mulroney, we've come to return your opera glasses. We didn't peg you as a lover of the ballet. Ah, thank you, Senior Chipper Matthew. I'd have been sorry to lose such a nice gift from the Rochesters. These were a gift from the Rochesters? Why, of course. Since my appointment as commissioner, I received gifts from many grateful Concordians, including the Rochesters, who are much lovelier than you led me to believe. When you said you would investigate the Rochesters, this wasn't what we expected. Nevertheless, we have more pressing matters to discuss. We're investigating the murder of Marta Ulanova. Ah, yes, such a tragic loss. I saw her earlier tonight to congratulate her. I was certain she'd want salutations from someone as important as myself. Now, if you don't mind, Senior Chipper Matthew, I should get back to work. Important matters to attend to and all that. Well, Matthew, we too should move on. I agree. We should check the main entrance to the opera. The killer must have passed through there. I'm gonna do the cushions first. I think as soon as I finish everything, I am gonna go home. Ooh, the Mouse Queen is dead. Oh gosh. Good heavens, Matthew! The note you found under that pile of cushions is written in blood. Our killer must have written this with the victim's blood, but why call her the Mouse Queen? Botheration. I can't make either head nor tail of that menacing missive, but I have no doubt Miss Holloway can. Let's send her this message at once. Okay, this is 3 hours. So, we gotta make sure that I have gotten every single star. See at least one clue. Candy apple and popcorn. No doubt I got the first star. This board seems to be an advertisement for the Opera House's production. It has the victim's name on it. Let's retrieve the rest of the text. And if you believe this ripped fabric could be a clue, I'll fetch the clue at once. Had to stop a little early because I was almost at the 10-minute mark. Swan Lake. This board reads, Marta Ulanova and Henry Montplaisir presents Swan Lake. Henry Montplaisir. Matthew, I know that name. Henry Montplaisir is a brilliant director. I didn't know he worked on Swan Lake with our victim. And as such, he may be able to tell us more about her. Let's seek an audience with Monsieur Montplaisir at once.
New Jersey's got identity rights on this felony murder of a police officer. Hoping that capital punishment is
Talk to me, Peter. You know as well as I, New Jersey's got a
Okay. Sacre bleu! Marta! Oh, Marta, m'amuse mon inspiration. I shall never forget you. Senior Trooper Matthew, I am devastated. She was the light that kept this theater shining. No one will ever replace her. Mr. Montplaisir, we understand your grief, but we need you to tell us whatever you can about Miss Ulanova. Was there anyone you can think of who might have wanted to harm her? Harm Marta? Parasite thought. I cannot imagine anyone wanting her dead. She was a legend. I have waited my entire life to work with the great Marta Ulanova, and now she will not even see our brilliant work triumph. Quelle tragedy. Thank you for your time, Mr. Montplaisir. You have our sincere condolences. There we go. This is a beautiful fan, Matthew. And look, it was autographed by the victim. Her message reads, Lady Highmore, a fan for my biggest fan. So our victim knew Lady Highmore. We should speak to her straight away, Matthew. Oh, it's been a while since we've had Lady Highmore as a suspect. Senior Trooper Matthew, how lovely to see you. I just spent the most wonderful evening at the ballet watching the Swan Lake premiere. Unfortunately, Lady Highmore, our news will most likely dampen your evening. We are investigating the murder of Marta Ulanova. Marta was murdered? How dreadful! Who would do such a ghastly thing? That is what we're investigating. We understand you are a great fan of hers, no pun intended. Oh, thank you, Senior Trooper Matthew. Marta gave that fan to me. How could I have been so careless as to have misplaced it? Anyone familiar with Marta Ulanova adored her. Nobody could resist her brilliance. I followed her career for years. In fact, it was my patronage that paid for her salary. She was always incredibly grateful for my generous contribution. I'm sad to hear we've lost another idol of the ballet world. Such a waste of a talented life. That's going to do. I'll let these two run their courses, and I'll see you when that's done. I will have all stars collected by then. So for now, this is Matthew. Thank you for watching. Okay, folks, we've returned, and let's get the results of the autopsy from Dick. Hello, Matthew. Ouch. Great Scott, Richard! What the devil happened to you? Inspired by the ballerinas, I took it upon myself to conduct experiments in flexibility. The wilderness of the human body is ever so fascinating. Unfortunately, I was rather ambitious and got a stiff neck while attempting a series of pirouettes. I simply don't know how those ballerinas do it. Nevertheless, you're not here to learn about my exploits. You want to know about your victim. The cause of death is a series of blows to the head. The repeated impact fractured her skull and flooded her brain with blood, killing her quickly. Although the murder weapon itself remains a mystery, I did find small fragments of colored glass in her wound. And stranger still, one of her earrings is missing. Curious indeed. Glass in her wound and a missing earring. This is quite the unique recipe for murder. Funny you mention a recipe, as I also found traces of sugar, champagne, and bitters in the head wound. These are the ingredients for a cocktail called Dancing Queen, which means your killer must drink them. Well, Matthew, the killer's days of toasting dancing queens are numbered now that you're on their trail. They discussed the child support, and those folks have $3,000 to gain this year. Margie's refused to hear the conversation from me, and Margie threatened to disclose that Rose Wolf was Dragon's father. Deck the halls of bells of Holly, Miss Holloway, are you there? Matthew, I hadn't heard you come in. I'm sorry, but that message you sent me has got me in the holiday spirit. I'm sorry, but that message you sent me has got me in the holiday spirit. I always listen to the Nutcracker at Christmas. What does a Nutcracker have to do with our bloody note? Not a Nutcracker, the Nutcracker. The ballet written by the late Pyotr Tchaikovsky. The first act of the famous ballet ends with the hero vanquishing the Mouse King, just like your killer's note mentions killing the Mouse Queen. It's very likely the killer sees himself as the hero of their own ballet. So the killer likes the Nutcracker. I have no doubt they'll crack this case in no time, Matthew. It's a somber day for the arts in Concordia, Matthew, as beloved ballet legend Marta Ulanova was found viciously murdered at the Opera House. The victim's collaborator, Henri Montplaisir, and her generous patron, Lady Highmore, are rightfully distraught by the news of Ulanova's murder. Commissioner Mulroney, on the other hand, seems far more concerned with his own star qualities than those of the late choreographers. Matthew, I must admit, Matthew, you have to speak to her, please. Miss Holloway, what is the matter? Speak with whom? Viola. She's threatening to quit the flying squad. Huh? Oh my goodness. We'll find out why in Chapter 2. Alright folks, we have returned with our Chapter 2 now of the Swan Song. Leave the flying squad? What are you talking about? Evie, don't be ridiculous. I'm not leaving straight away. Not until the end of this investigation, at least. So you really intend to leave the police force? But why? I went to the Opera Cafe where all the ballerinas and artists dine, and it convinced me. Matthew, you must understand, my real place is on the stage. Your real place is with us, Viola. We need you here. If it makes you both feel better, I'll sleep on it, but I fear my mind's already made up. I sincerely hope you'll change your mind. And as for us, Matthew, if the Opera Cafe is the gathering place, for the performers, we ought to check it out. Something's gotta be wrong with this mouse. I don't know what it is. I don't know what is wrong with this thing. I see it. Dirty napkin. Here we go. And I get the first star already. I can't believe Viola would ever consider leaving the flying squad. I know she's always loved the theater, but I really hope she reconsiders. But you're right, Matthew. We must concentrate on our investigation. Like that napkin you found. It's covered in glass shards and blood. Richard mentioned finding glass shards in our victim's wound. Perhaps a sample will tell us more. And this bag has the initials MU on it. It must belong to our victim. Surely we will find a clue inside it. Now, even though this thing is on a yellow, I wonder if I might have to change the battery in this thing, because this thing might be telling. Down to 5 energy, basically because this thing will not hurry it up. Now that we have a sample of those glass shards from the cafe napkin, Matthew, let's get it to Viola while we still have her.
That's 72. That's the other part of that line. Range. This week, that is now out to the west. High pressure is back in. So,
12 hours. Matter of fact, I probably should get some batteries out right now. Matthew, that sketchbook you found in the victim's bag is full of drawings of ballet positions. Not surprising for a choreographer. However, recovering the faded writing on the book might reveal something unexpected. Allow me to fetch your Justin kit. There we go. Matthew, the victim's sketchbook is full of what appears to be technical directions for the stage crew. Check with Eric Tremaine for the lighting. Whoever this Eric Tremaine is, the victim seemed to rely on him for most of her arrangements. Let's ask him some questions. What are you doing here? No one's allowed backstage. Mr. Eric Tremaine, we're with the Flying Squad. We'd like to ask you some questions regarding Marta Ulanova. We know that I see my bandages are troubling you. Don't mind them. I had an accident a few days ago. Burned half my face off. I'm just having myself a cocktail to ease the pain. These dancing queens do the trick. I apologize for my rudeness, Mr. Tremaine. We'd just like to know if you have any information regarding Miss Ulanova's murder. Do you know of any enemies she might have had? I don't have much to say. The woman was difficult to work with. That I do know. I'm just a stagehand, but Marta seemed to think I was her personal assistant, ordering me around at her whim. Working with Marta was a great opportunity, but I have to say it's kind of a relief not having to deal with her anymore. And that'll do. I'll see you guys when the Bloody Shards has run its course. Okay, folks, I'm starting a little bit later than usual. Home emergencies. Later. That's quite alright, Viola. However, please tell us you dropped this foolish plan of yours to trade in the squad for Thespian endeavors. I'm afraid not. But don't worry, Isaac. I shall remain professional until the end. Speaking of which, I have information on your killer. Richard confirmed the glass shards he found on that napkin matched the shards he found on the victim's wound. So those shards also came from our elusive murder weapon. Did you figure out what it is? No, but upon further inspection of the glass, I found traces of charcoal, a very porous kind. Charcoal at this level of porosity is primarily obtained in an apothecary and is eaten as medicine to treat a variety of ailments. All this to say, it appears your killer eats charcoal. If our killer eats charcoal, they won't mind the delights of prison food. And since you know all our suspects must have passed through the main entrance of the Opera House, we should inspect it once again. I agree. Okay. Ooh. Okay. Metal and feather pieces. And the bird. Okay. Matthew, how delightful! This appears to be a photograph of Miss Ulanova from her ballerina years. I'd recognize her anywhere. But who is the woman next to her? Perhaps searching through our archives will reveal her identity. This bouquet of roses has certainly seen better days, and the note within has the victim's name as well as some symbols. Let's crack this code. These metal and feather pieces seem to be an accessory for Swan Lake. Piecing it back together might give us a clue. Onwards, Matthew. I'm going to do everything now. There we go. Matthew, this is indeed a headpiece for the show, and the name engraved on it is Kirkland. Kirkland? Of course, that's Margot Kirkland, the prima ballerina of Swan Lake. We should go speak to Miss Kirkland at once. I may not have seen the performance, but I'm certain she won't hold that against me. Miss Kirkland, it's an absolute pleasure to meet you. Oh, thank you. Did you watch my performance, Senior Trooper Matthew? Amazing, wasn't it? Unfortunately, we didn't. We came here to investigate the murder of your choreographer, Marta Yulanova. Oh, of course. Horrible, isn't it? I can't believe she's dead. Were you and Miss Yulanova close? I owe all of my success to Marta. She discovered me when I was the Sugar Plum Fairy in Henry Monplaisir's production of The Nutcracker. From that moment on, Marta took me under her wing and made me the ballerina I am today. I owe her everything. Now that she's gone, the show will close and all our hard work will have been for nothing. I'll be sorry not to see your performance. I'm sure you were incredible. Oh, that's Lady Highmore. By Jove, Matthew! The woman in the photo with the victim is none other than Lady Highmore. This is quite a departure from the composed lady we know. I never would have expected Lady Highmore to have had such a wild past. I'm curious as to why she failed to mention her long-standing friendship with the victim, and curiosity is best met with answers by the lady herself. Senior Trooper Matthew, lovely to see you. Care for a dancing queen? No, thank you, Lady Highmore. We aren't here for cocktails. We're here to ask you about this photo. Oh my word, Senior Trooper Matthew. Where did you find that atrocity? Put that away before someone sees it. Why did you omit telling us that you were more than just Miss Yulanova's patron? If you must know, when I was young and foolish, I too was a dancer, a chorus girl of all things. I met Marta at that time. We were both performing at the same theater. Naturally, we struck up a friendship. Over the years, I gave up my preposterous dancing hobby and took to supporting Marta's blossoming career instead. However, Marta had recently discovered I was going to stop dancing to the opera house, which meant her salary. That must have been quite the cause for concern for Miss Yulanova. It was. Marta was so angry she threatened to expose my secret and print that old photo in the Gazette. Can you imagine if the Concordians found out? The shame. Lady Highmore, although we understand your standing in the community is paramount, we hope it didn't inspire murderous sentiments on your behalf. Oh, don't be silly, Senior Trooper Matthew. I'd never do such a thing. However, if you don't mind, I'd prefer this information stay between us. 6663. 63377. There we go. 79639. 7, but that's okay. Matthew, I'm at a loss as to what the numbers from the flower bouquet offered to the victim can mean. Perhaps we should send them to Miss Holloway. This is 12 hours. I'll see you guys when this is done. Okay, folks, we have returned, and let's get the results of the numbers from Evie. Matthew, did you manage to convince Viola to stay with us? Sadly, my dear Evelyn, the choice is Viola's to make. Let us hope she'll come to her senses. And as for those numbers we sent you... Yes, the numbers. They actually refer to an anthology of love poetry. The numbers on the card refer to page 55 of volume 3, on which there is a poem entitled Caught in the Dragnet of My Love. It's an ode to the joys of being loved by a police officer. It is true that police officers make wonderful companions. Dash it, Matthew, you're right. We do have a policeman among our list of suspects, Commissioner Mulroney. Commissioner Mulroney said he was a fan of Miss Ulanova, but was there something more? Let us go interrogate the commissioner at once. Commissioner Mulroney, we found the bouquet of roses you offered the victim. We had no idea you were courting Miss Ulanova. Oh, you found those, did you? I offered Marta the gifts of flowers and poetry as a token of my adoration. You see, I fell in love with her the moment I saw her perform in the Nutcracker all those years ago. From the state of the flowers in the bouquet, it would appear as if the gift was not well received. I went to the opera to make my grand declaration of love, now that I'm a commissioner and all, but Marta told me it was not good enough for her. Can you believe that? Marta rejected me. Me, Commissioner Mulroney. And to think of all that charcoal I ate to make myself more handsome. Matthew, it's difficult to imagine that between all the glissades and arabesques, someone brutally ended the life of legendary ballet choreographer Marta Ulanova. Tragically, this production was Miss Ulanova's swan song. The world has lost a dancing queen, and it's up to us to bring her killer to justice. According to the stagehand Eric Tremaine, Marta was difficult to work with, but would murder be the price to pay for her exigent ways? And while Lady Highmore was trying to conceal her compromising past with the victim, Commissioner Mulroney was working on building a future with her. So far, the only... Matthew, did you hear that? Oh gosh. We'll have to find out what that is in Chapter 3. Stay tuned, folks. Okay, folks, we've returned. Let's start Chapter 3 now of the Swan Song. And now I hear munching. Good heavens, Miss Kirkland! You just crashed into that waiter and his tray! Are you alright? Just couldn't take it anymore. I dare say Miss Ulanova's murder has affected you more than we expected. Miss Kirkland, perhaps you could put down the hamburgers and take a moment to breathe while Senior Trooper Matthew and I ask you a few more questions. Sounds like an eating binge. Senior Trooper Matthew, I worked so hard on this ballet, and for nothing. Without our choreographer, the show can't go on. We understand how difficult this must be, seeing your mentor and idol murdered, but you must find a way to... You don't understand anything. I'm sad for the show, but I'm relieved Marta's dead. She was killing me. She pushed me too hard. I was on the edge. I wasn't sleeping, I wasn't eating. It was just rehearsal, rehearsal, rehearsal. I kept dreaming of the day when I could eat food like a normal person and not that horrid charcoal she kept saying was no good for me. It doesn't matter anymore. It's all over now. Waiter, can I get another dancing queen over here, please? Right. You seem rather occupied. We'll leave you to your dining. Well, she just put herself in the running now. Matthew, I'm surprised by Miss Kirkland's response to this ordeal. I suppose the pressure of performing can be extremely stressful. That said, we've got our own performance pressure as well, as we still need to apprehend our murderer. I agree. Since we found Miss Ulanova's body in her opera box, we should continue our investigation there. Opera chairs. Unlimited energy, and I'm only using it at the 13-minute mark. Portrait. Matthew, that's a lovely ballet portrait of our victim. Or rather it was. It looks like it's been gashed with a knife. Perhaps a sample of this substance on the painting can help us find out who did that. That ornate tube was most likely a document carrier, and it's covered in a swan motif. This must belong to the production. Quickly, Matthew, let's pick that lock to see what's inside. Oh, why not? I'll do everything now. Matthew, let's put that sample under the microscope and uncover who slashed our victim's portrait. I do have my TV on mute. I have the TV on mute. I am back at my grandma's house because over the week I had to move up to my house because my grandma's house is tented. And this is where I usually film. And of course you're probably wondering, why do I not use my desktop? Because my desktop has been known to kind of show a black screen briefly, and sometimes it just kind of flashes in front of me. Burn cream. Matthew, the substance on the vandalized painting is some treatment for burnt skin. Capital observation. We do know someone in need of burn cream for a severe injury. Mr. Eric Tremaine, the stagehand. He told us he was burned in an accident a few days ago. Clearly our burned stagehand has a grudge against our victim. Let's just hope it wasn't a murderous one. Let us away to interrogate Mr. Tremaine. Mr. Tremaine, we found your burn cream on a destroyed painting of Miss Ulanova. Care to tell us what that's about? Blasted! You found that! Very well. After working with Marta on the Nutcracker, I wanted nothing to do with her. But when this job appeared, I couldn't turn it down. Marta was the worst person I've ever worked with. My injury was all her fault. Wait. Are you saying it's Miss Ulanova's fault you injured yourself? You told us that it was an accident. During our last technical rehearsal, Marta wasn't happy with the illumination arrangement, but instead of calling the lighting fellows, she forced me to do it. I told her I just didn't know anything about lighting, but she didn't care. And sure enough, when I changed the wiring, it blew up in my face. Now I'm horribly disfigured, and no amount of charcoal will help me get back to the way I was before. I'll never become stage manager now. Mr. Tremaine, let us hope your aspirations of stage management didn't push you into staging Miss Ulanova's murder, or jail will be your only career advancement. And the document carrier. UI 86H. Just got the 9 in time. Matthew, as we expected, the ornate document carrier is full of what appears to be official Swan Lake production documents. These might offer us some new information on our case, but Evie will have to sort through them. This is 9 hours, and I will get the results tomorrow. Actually, when this is done. Thinking ahead to the last crime scene. I'll see y'all then. Okay, folks, we have come back. Let's get the results of the documents from Evie. Evelyn, were you able to sort through all the documents we sent you? It was a large stack, but we knew you wouldn't mind. Nope, didn't mind at all. So in combing through all these production documents, I discovered a mix of overdue invoices, memos from the board of directors, and letters from angry investors. Apparently the ballet was in jeopardy. They were threatening to close the production before it even opened. My word, this could have ruined the careers of all those involved. Especially that of the ballet's artistic director, Henri Montplaisir. Most of these documents were addressed to him. No director likes to hear their show is headed for failure, much less someone of the likes of Mr. Montplaisir. Matthew, we should go speak with him at once.
The gun was part of my pitch.
Okay, so tell me what pitch?
Alvin likes guns. You see a series of girls sucking on gun barrels. They hired me to consult with a courier for 50 grand. And you're telling me that
Mr. Montplaisir, we'd like to have a word with you regarding... Ooh la la, you have caught me in my beauty regime attended, Senior Trooper. Voila! As you were saying, Senior Trooper Matthew. Yes, we'd like to talk to you about the production. It seems as if you are having problems keeping it afloat.
Guess just closing the Gilbert runway show tomorrow.
Oh my gosh! Really? Wait, what?
That is an understatement. This entire production was falling apart. It was a catastrophe.
Claire,
I don't like to speak ill of the dead, but it was all Marta's fault. That woman was just impossible. Not only was she always eating all my bananas, she decided to have a real leg on the stage. Un lot? Can you imagine the cost? That woman was insupportable. She was making us bleed money. If it weren't for dancing queens, I don't know how I would have handled the stress. Well, now he's in the running. Matthew, it seems although Miss Ulanova was a ballet legend, she had amassed many enemies throughout her career. Now which of those enemies could be our killer? We have yet to discover. However... Oh, there you are, Matthew. I've been looking everywhere for you. I've got great news to share with you. We could use some good news about now, Viola. Well, you'll be happy to know that I decided to stay with the flying squad. I just had a long conversation with Horatio, and he's convinced me that my talents are better suited for the squad than the stage. That's wonderful, Viola. We're pleased to have you stay with us.
Since when does Alan listen to anybody?
Matthew, I'm not sure Horatio's insistence that Viola remain in the squad was purely disinterested, but honestly for now, I'm just relieved she's staying with us.
On to the next model. You may feel different, but you know,
Was purely disinterested, but honestly for now, I'm just relieved she's staying with us.
he's gonna tell you.
And you're right, theater goers will soon be making their way to the cafe. We should search it before they arrive.
It's the first time he's been arrested. The Gilberts protect their own. You're not his wife. You're not his family. You're the hired
Of course, if you're also wondering, I do have a cold sore in the back of my jaw. That's really giving me a lot of troubles.
Nice job. Police said Barbara amended the arrest warrant, added 10 charges of rape. Turns out Nora kept videos.
So you took that out with ASAP.
No, turn in from the lawyer they supplied her. The Gilberts have to know about it.
Big Al, we see you here. We show corporate IPO, not us. Who's here? They're calling up the jet from Tarmac.
She's their top model, and I am the How many times are going to tell you I'm on the list?
Hey, Matt, what's going on?
This moron won't let me in.
You're going to lose your job over this. I'm on TV. Is it a problem?
Yeah, is Alan Gilbert here?
So, you tell me don't you better come here now. Get in here. Easy, right? Screw you. Screw all of you. You tell Benno and Alvin I am coming back for them. Any luck with Alvin?
I haven't seen him, Benno, or
Here we are.
Well, it's Chris can take the dressing room area, so I'll hang backstage. I don't want to see now.
Gorgeous.
Hey, excuse me.
And I get the first star.
detectives? Yeah, have you seen him? No, since he stuck his head on the dress.
Yeah. Let's go.
I'll check upstairs.
All right.
Matthew, I'm not one for rummaging through cinders, but if you believe that there could be a clue in that ashtray, I shan't stand in your way. Good heavens, that lamp is broken, and there's blood on it. Astute observation. The glass shards you found earlier here at the cafe seem to be exactly the same as the ones on this lamp. Matthew, if we want to learn more about our killer, we must obtain a sample of that blood immediately.
Oh, you're only 20 seconds. I don't know, is that out there?
When's the last time you saw him?
I don't know. Then I'll focus. Okay, good.
Of course, I'm able to talk, but this cold sore is really killing me right now. Matthew, now that you've obtained a sample of the blood from the lamp, we must send it to Viola at once.
Hey, what happened? I came out for a smoke. You saw the light.
9 hours.
Who's John?
Real meal for $5. Real meal for $5. Real meal for $5.
Earring. How did this fancy earring end up in the cafe's ashtray, Matthew? You're right. In his autopsy, Dick mentioned the victim was missing her earring. This one could be hers. We must get this to Viola post-haste. That's gonna do. And I'll see you guys when both of these are done.
Hurry to Lowe's and get 15% off all Disney Magic holiday items.
Okay, folks, we have returned, and let's put a killer behind bars to first get the results for blood. Viola, I must say, it's lovely seeing you back in your natural element. I'm pleased you've chosen to stay with us. As am I. I'm fortunate to have someone like Horatio in my life to talk sense into me, because now I can continue to do what I love the most, solving crime. Yes, let us all be thankful for Horatio. Moving on, I have information regarding the sample from the glass lamp. It was, if you suspected, your victim's blood. So this lamp is a murder weapon. Indeed. And mixed in with the blood, I found white feathers. Ironic being that Swan Lake was the last ballet your victim will ever choreograph. So our killer wears feathers. Matthew, the killer may have shown us their true plumage, but there's no flying away from us now. My mouth's still hurting a little bit, but I'm okay. I can play hurt. Matthew, I shall avoid a drawn-out song and dance and get straight to the point. The earring you found in the cafe ashtray belonged to the victim. Dick confirmed it. Good to know. Now, was there anything else on that earring that we can use in our investigation? Well, in inspecting the earring further for traces of the killer, I found something. Stuck to the ornate metallic part of the earring, there was a solitary strand of blonde hair. Your victim had dark hair, so it must have come from the killer. So our killer has blonde hair. Matthew, our fair-haired murderer, is within a hair's breadth of your capture. Matthew, our killer danced on a razor's edge when they murdered legendary choreographer Marta Ulanova. Now it's your time to stop them dead on Demi Point.
This is where we're into the digital staircase.
This was a slight mistake.
7 out of the room belongs to.
Potentially.
Wait, let me look at the other one first. Nope. It's not Eric Tremaine. Henri Montplaisir, you're under arrest for the murder of Marta Ulanova. Moi? You think I murdered Marta Ulanova? Monsieur, I am an artiste, not an assassin. I don't believe that. If only we hadn't found your bloody note. The reference to the Mouse Queen's death gave you away. Oh la la, you think I'm the only one who knows the Nutcracker? It played for months here. Everyone in town saw it. Perhaps, but not everyone really traced of your dancing queen cocktail on the victim's dead body. A libation we know you drank to deal with Marta's exigencies. I am French. I love the champagne, but that does not make me a murderer, only a bon vivant. What does make you a murderer is the lamp you used as the murder weapon, the one you light some feathers on. You might as well admit it, Mr. Montplaisir. We know the show was in jeopardy and that you would have done anything to keep it alive, even if that meant killing Marta. I only killed her because she killed me. From where I'm standing, you're very much alive. My vision! She killed my vision! I didn't care about the outrageous expenses or even the delays, so when I realized she had changed my vision, I snapped. I had planned for a grand entrance. The ballerinas were to arrive on a fleet of miniature white zeppelins, wearing nothing but their passion and pointe shoes. But instead, Marta changed into choo-choos and swans. Can you imagine such a thing? So traditional. Everything I fought for, everything I worked hard for was gone. After I witnessed the atrocity of tonight's premiere, I felt the muse of inspiration take over me again. I grabbed the lamp and struck Marta as hard as I could. I wanted the Mouse Queen dead. I am the great Henri Montplaisir. My genius is rivaled by no one. Mr. Montplaisir, it is my muse which inspires me to say that your stroke of genius has landed you a starring role of prison inmate. You're now under arrest for the murder of Marta Ulanova. Well, Senior Trooper Matthew, what do we have here? Yet another murder. I sure missed the Bahamas and my prize-winning pumpkins. Anyway, let's proceed. Henri Montplaisir, you're charged with the murder of Marta Ulanova. Je suis innocent. Marta was the real criminal. She killed my vision. I spent my entire life creating the magnificent man, Manon. Mr. Montplaisir, as much as I agree with Shakespeare in that the whole world is our stage, murdering Miss Ulanova was taking it too far. For this, I sentence you to 25 years in prison. I can see it now. A prison ballet. It'll be my chef d'oeuvre. Matthew's tragic to have lost a legendary ballet force like Marta Ulanova due to jealous artistic rivalry. There is just no room for murder in the theater. But now that this case has been solved, we can move forward onto more pressing matters. like the Rochester's anti-freedom of the press bill. For now, we've been able to stall their efforts by confiscating the bill, which we have here on the airship for safekeeping. However, that won't hold them off for long. The Rochesters are a resourceful lot, which is why we need to find out exactly why they want to shut down the press. So, Matthew, the game is afoot. Let us go uncover the truth behind the Rochester's plan. Onward we go! Take a look at the other ones. Lady Highmore was cleared early. No feathers for Eric Tremaine. No brown hair on Margot Kirkland. Thaddeus Mulroney, he was cleared from the start. There was Henry Montplaisir. I'll see you guys. I'll see you guys for No News is Good News 2-6. Okay, and let's start No News is Good News 2-6. Matthew, now that we solved the mystery of Marta Ulanova's death, we can move on to the pressing matter at hand. We need to uncover the truth behind the Rochester's bill. Surely there's a motive for wanting to abolish freedom of the press, and we have to find out what it is before it's too late. Fortunately, the bill is under lock and key in the chief's office. We've claimed it as evidence for safekeeping. But that won't hold them back. It's only a matter of time before the Rochesters draft a new bill or do something worse. Matthew, I thought the Rochesters are assiduous opera goers. One of them must have come to the Swan Lake premiere. Maybe we should have another look there, see if they left anything behind. Matthew, I know you're busy, but I really need to speak with you. It's important. Do you have a moment? Well, I'm sure Madeline could assist you with Evelyn, Matthew. As for me, I'll be waiting at the Opera House. Well, let's see what Evie wants first. Matthew, thank you for seeing me. I wasn't sure who to go to. I don't want to cause a panic or anything, but... What is it, Evie? You seem alarmed. Well, you see, someone stole the Rochester's bill. It's gone. The Rochester's bill was stolen? How could that have happened? I don't know. It was stored in the chief's office for safekeeping. Only those of us on the airship had access to it. This has to be the doing of the Rochesters. They want that bill to pass so badly they'd do anything for it, even if it meant stealing it right from under our noses. Evie, do you have any idea if anyone from their family has been to the airship lately? Well, I remember Viola was telling me about the dinner she had with Horatio, but they went to the Opera Cafe. Horatio, huh? Matthew, we better go search the cafe before it's too late, and any evidence of that bill disappears. Matthew, you might need some money while you're there. Take this. Give me $20,000 right away.
That picture. And I expected something.
pieces. There we are. Drats, Matthew. The waiters have cleaned the tables already. But you're right. There might still be something from Horatio and Viola's meeting in that tray. Let's search through it. Now we'll examine the serving tray now. An evidence tag. Crikey! On this serving tray is a police evidence tag, Matthew. And not just any police evidence tag, it belongs to the Swan. This must be the one from the stolen bill. Let's send it to Evie immediately. Trumpet. Umbrella. There we are. Matthew, I know the Rochesters frequent the opera, but hoping these pieces of wood might tell us more about their plans feels like a stretch. However, you're right. It's not like we've got other options. Let's piece these back together.
These are actors that we don't even that sales they're fairly honest businessmen.
On Deal Dash, I got this $349 paper for less than $25.
Software's level $5, laptops for $10, and professional cameras for level $20.
I will decide for $8.
Here we are. Matthew, this looks like a model of a city. And you're right, that plaque features the Rochester's crest. The engraving on the plaque reads, "Guard your ancestral land." What does that mean? Matthew, this is exactly what we've been looking for. The Rochesters are planning something, and hopefully Evie will be able to tell us what that is. $6 hours. I'm going to speed both of these up a little later, but for now, this is Matthew. Okay, folks, we have returned, and as you can see, I'm going to be speeding both of these up. Put myself below 200, but that's okay. Matthew, that model of Concordia you found is amazing. Oh, that is a model of Concordia? Well, a much older version of Concordia, which is why the city looks so small. What will the Rochesters want with that model? That's where it all gets fascinating. You see, the Rochesters used to own Concordia. Or rather, the land it sat on. But as the city grew, the Rochesters lost their monopoly over it. So the Rochesters used to own most of Concordia? That sure explains their entitled attitude. And that doesn't explain why they're carrying that model around. Good idea, Matthew. Perhaps working for Justin Lawson has made Archie Rochester more amenable. Let's ask him about this model. Well, Senior Trooper Matthew, back so soon? You just can't get enough of me, can you? We don't have time for idle chatter, Archie. We want to know what your family's planning. Does it have anything to do with your old claim over Concordia? Old claim? Oh, Senior Trooper Matthew, you sure have a funny brain. My family never lost control over Concordia. Haven't you ever noticed we hold the majority of power over this city? The Senate, City Hall, Wolf Street, it's all ours. Just like Concordia is ours, always has been, always will. This city doesn't belong to you. It belongs to the people of Concordia. Well, I'm sure you know best, but whatever the future brings, you better look sharp for it, Senior Trooper Matthew. Mouth still hurting, but I'm able to play hurt. Matthew, this is definitely the evidence tag that was on the bill. Too bad the bill itself wasn't with it. But all hope's not lost. I have good news and bad news. Good news is I found fingerprints on the tag. Great news, Evie. Whose are they? That's the bad news. The prints belong to Viola. What? Are you saying Viola took the bill? I don't understand. How could she do this to us? I don't know. It doesn't make any sense. Please, Matthew, go talk to Viola. There must be an explanation for this. I believe that this is 3. There we go. Let's confront Viola about this. Matthew, I knew you'd come. I made a terrible mistake. We know. Viola, how could you steal the Rochester's bill? You're a police officer. I was a fool. Horatio duped me, and I was so desperate for his love that I let him. He had told me there was a mistake in the bill. He claimed the Rochesters weren't trying to abolish freedom of the press. They were trying to save it. Of course Horatio would say that. Don't you know by now he always lies? I suppose I just refused to face the truth. He asked me to show him the bill at dinner so he could check the contents, and I did. I only intended to show it to him and bring it back to the airship, but somehow Horatio left with the bill. And you let him? Viola, do you realize what's at stake here? I do. I'm so sorry. Matthew, believe me, I'll do anything to make things right. There's nothing you can do, Viola. We'll have to tell the chief about this. I hope you realize that. Do what you must, of course. And please, Matthew, have my dinner. I've lost my appetite. Oh boy, the chief's not gonna like this. Matthew, what's this I heard? Viola gave the bill to Horatio Rochester. Chief, I cannot apologize enough for my actions. I betrayed everything the squad stands for. And I let Horatio make a fool of me. I thought we were really getting close. I thought his love for me, his newfound daughter, was honest, but it was all a lie. He was using me to get close to the squad. Miss Pemberton, you're lucky we cannot afford to lose a member of our team in such dire times. The slightest mishap, however, and I'll have no choice but to let you go. Is that clear? Perfectly clear. I shall not let you or the squad down again, Chief. And as a matter of fact, I think I might be able to help. After a disastrous dinner, Horatio hurried back to the Opera House steps to meet his driver. Thinking back on it, I remember seeing him drop something. That is tenuous at best, Miss Pemberton. Chief, I know it's not much to go on, but Matthew's right. We have nothing to lose. Very well. You and Matthew go search the opera set, but you'd better find something. Oh boy, will this be a lucky break or what? We will see. Oh wait. There we go. And the shield. Still holding the third spot on here. Matthew, this box has the Rochester logo, Rochester crest on it. This must be what Horatio dropped. Let's open it, quickly. Jeff. 7-3E. 80, okay. No. Matthew, inside this box is another Rochester crest. You're right. This crest does look different from their usual one. Wait a second. This crest shows the Rochester Lions combined with the emblem of Concordia. The writing on the lid of the box says, "The insignia of the Republic of New Concordia. Guard your ancestral land." Guard your ancestral land? That was the phrase written on the motto of Concordia. What in thunderation does this all mean? Are the Rochesters trying to claim Concordia back as their own? Good heavens! That's why the Rochesters want to control the press, to control the narrative. This is ludicrous. Do they really think they can just take over a city? I agree. We must confront Horatio. He must know we won't let this happen. So we're not going to get the bill back yet. Viola, you son of a gun. Mr. Rochester, we know your family's trying to take over Concordia, and we're here to tell you that you'll never succeed. Don't be ridiculous, Senior Trooper Matthew. Take over Concordia? Do you hear yourself? No one's trying to take over Concordia, although I must admit the city is in dire need of improved governance, wouldn't you say? And you think you're the one to do that? You think you're deserving of such a task as governing Concordia? Well, this city does belong to us Rochesters. Surely you've been deserving of it this entire time. Perhaps the time for us to act is now. Perhaps it's time to reclaim what is rightfully ours. But rest assured, Senior Trooper Matthew, no matter what we do, you'll never stop us. We'll see about that. Concordia isn't yours yet. I still can't believe Viola acted so foolishly, Matthew. She's lucky she's not getting fired. Viola's mistake is the least of our worries. We now know exactly why the Rochesters are so intent on passing that bill to abolish freedom of the press. And that's because they're planning to seize power over Concordia. What? But that's absurd. You can't just take over a city. Clearly they believe they can, which means they must have the power to do so. Matthew, I refuse to see Concordia turn into the Rochester's new republic. We need to figure out how they plan to do it and stop them. Oh man, Viola, why did you put us in this predicament? Still not open yet, so my guess is that this case is going to be open on the 9th. Is it on the 9th? Yes, it is. Five new ones. 4 new ones. Another 5. And 3 new ones. Oh, almost done with that one. Here. Confronting Rochester. Chief's rights. Interest. And that's going to do for this. Add in the burger. I will see you guys on November 9th.